The Islamic version of the events of Jesus' life contradicts many core beliefs of the Christian faith.
In the Christian narrative, the most central and fundamental point of Christianity is the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Well, Islam basically denies that.
وقولهم إنا قتلنا المسيح عيسى ابن مريم رسول الله وما قتلوه وما صلبوه ولكن شبه لهم.
In the Bible, Jesus is betrayed by Judas and crucified by the Romans. The Quran says this only appeared to happen.
There are two versions in the Islamic tradition about it appeared to them. Some of them say that there was a replacement for Christ on the cross.
When the Romans had captured Jesus and were taking him away to the cross to be crucified, God Almighty set into motion a rescue operation.
God turns the appearance of Judas Iscariot so that he looks like Jesus, and in all the scuffle and turmoil, the Roman soldiers actually arrest not Jesus, who is taken out of the situation by the four main angels. They arrest Judas, and he's saying, hang on a minute, I'm Judas. And they say, come on, we know you're Jesus, we know what he looks like.
And he sent down angels to carry Jesus up into the heavens.
The other opinion is appearance and reality. You thought something happened, it didn't happen in reality, and it really leaves it at that. The essence of Islam is submission to the absolute, to the divine, and that's where salvation lies, in submission to the divine, or at least a recognition of the divine. In Christianity, salvation lies through the acceptance of the blood of the Lamb. That is a completely different narrative than the Quran is giving. Who's right? Well, the Quran says, you make your choice here, and I'm going to let you know in the next world.
ذلك عيسى ابن مريم قول الحق الذي فيه يمترون ما كان لله أن يتخذ من ولد سبحانه إذا قضى أمرا فإنما يقول له كن فيكون.
Muslims also dispute the Christian idea of Jesus' divinity, the belief that he was God in the flesh. In fact, the Quran warns Christians against this. Desist, it says. God is one, and Jesus is his servant.
To say Jesus died on a cross, or that Jesus was that God was a little baby, or that God died on a cross, or God was a little baby, this is a heresy. And to say that Jesus was God, full stop, is also a heresy. A lot of Christians don't realize this.
The Quran says that the heavens were almost rent asunder, that the mountains were almost obliterated, that the earth almost shook at the idea that we would say that God had a son.
In the Quran it says that on the Day of Judgment, God will actually ask Jesus Christ,
Did you tell the people that you were God?
And Jesus says,
you know what I said, you see everything I say and do.
I would never say that. Glory to you, transcendent are you. I would never say that. I have no right to say that.
Zachariah King is a poet who runs an Islamic bookstall on Edgware Road.
Priest in confession weep out through each town, almond sweet ground. This land will never suffer love again until my beautiful motley Maria is refound.
His understanding of Jesus in the Quran influenced him to reject the Jesus of Christianity.
Why aren't you Muslim?
Why aren't I? I'm a Jew.
You're a Jew? Oh, I was previously Christian.
Ya Allah. Allah. Once I started to learn about Islam and realising that Jesus prayed, Jesus ate, Jesus went to the toilet, Jesus was born, Jesus had companions, all of these things, that he went through pain, that he went through anguish, that he beseeched his Lord. These things are not befitting for me of God, and therefore the Son of God.
Jesus was God, then who was supporting the world while he was supposed to be dead? Or if he was God, then who was he praying to?
Free books! What doesn't work is that God has family. I can't believe that Mary can give birth to God. For God to be God, he has to be the creator and not become part of creation.
Both Muslims and Christians believe that Jesus will return to earth to restore justice to the world. They also believe that before he returns, an evil person or system called the Antichrist will have gained influence over the planet.
He's called the Antichrist or the false Christ because he stands for everything which goes against Jesus Christ's message. So instead of love and mercy, the Antichrist stands for hatred and war. Instead of being devoted to God and renouncing the world, the Antichrist stands for greed and exploiting the world and exploiting power, etc.
In Islamic tradition, the Antichrist is called Dajjal.
And Dajjal really means the imposter, the liar, the deceiver.
Now, if you look at the word Dajjal, which means Antichrist in Arabic, the root word is to put pitch or tar over a mangy camel. And what happens when you do that is the mange goes away. It suppresses it, like putting cortisone on eczema. And then you sell the camel because it looks good, and so the person buys it thinking it's a healthy camel, and then a week later the mange reemerges.
In the Bible, the book of Revelation says there'll come a time when no one will be able to buy or sell without the mark of the Antichrist. The main understanding of Muslim Antichrist prophecies is of an actual person. Vivid descriptions of his appearance and abilities can be found in the Hadith, the collected sayings of the Prophet Muhammad.
The Prophet Muhammad said, every prophet has warned his people about the Dajjal, about the Antichrist, but he said, I will tell you something which none of the other prophets told their people, and that is that he has one eye.
One eye.
One-eyed.
One eye.
One eye which will be damaged. There will come a person who would rule using brute force, tyranny, who would disbelieve openly, who would kill, maim, and destroy anything and everything.
He's the pitch man. He's the one who's like pitching you this, buy this product, the 7 deadly sins: lust, greed, pride, gluttony, right? You're really going to enjoy these. You're going to have a good time.
He will do things that are beyond the ability of anyone.
For example, by cutting a man in two, it says.
Right down the middle.
And then bringing him back to life.
I mean, after you witness such an event, it would be very difficult not to believe in such a person.
Christ says, go and sin no more. You're forgiven. The Antichrist says, there's no sins to forgive. Go do whatever you want.
Both Muslims and Christians agree that Jesus will return to defeat the Antichrist. But whereas the Bible uses metaphorical language to describe the event, Islamic tradition gives a blow-by-blow account of exactly what will happen when Jesus comes back.